right, we're going to dive in. We're going to get started. So today I want to talk about how coaching works because the thing is, coaching is a very powerful tool. It's a radically powerful tool. Like it has transformed my life. Like it's hard to describe how much coaching has transformed my life. From hiring my first coach in 2010 to becoming a coach in 2013, after which times I started a business. I went after the career that I wanted. I published a book. And literally my coaching business, I've generated close to over about $10 million in revenue over the past like 5 to 6 years. So and I'm doing the work that I love. I'm doing my passion. I'm making a big impact. I'm helping a lot of people make their lives better. And all of that started because I hired a coach. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to become a coach, but what it means is coaching basically empowers you to become what you're supposed to be. And because a lot of us are doing things that we're not clear about, or we're doing what was convenient, but really that unlocking everything in you is what coaching really does. And it's like radically transformed my life. And when we talk about coaching, a lot of times we're talking about, oh, you can hit your goals and we can shift your frame. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about the mechanics of coaching, how it works, and some of the stuff we don't talk about a ton in marketing, which is actually some of the greatest benefits of coaching is what I'm calling a coaching mindset. Because what actually happens is as a coach, when I get a new client, one of the first things I'm going to start doing with that client is I'm going to start educating them on a new mode of operation, a new way of thinking, a new way to manage their time. Because basically most people haven't been trained on how to do that. I didn't know how to do that until I hired a coach. But what ends up happening is you start to build over time this mindset, this point of view that starts to transform who you are at your core. So it's really this isn't just some real estate coaching or something where they're teaching you how to flip houses. Like this coaching is mindset coaching. It's upgrading your mindset. And one of the most powerful things you get out of this is literally the coaching mindset. So once you spend some time learning mindset, your life is going to be forever changed because you're always going to have that skill set. You're going to have that ability. It's a really powerful tool. And what coaching really does is, if we think about how humans operate, we have a brain, which is a mindset. And our mindset basically is cataloging everything that's gone into it over time. And when we're making decisions, or we're making planning, or we're trying to figure out what to do next, we're using our brain to think about it, right? We're thinking about it. And the thinking process is basically pulling from your mindset, which is basically your past. So most of us are running around trying to grow, trying to expand, trying to do different things, but we're all making decisions from our past self. And what ends up happening is we're constantly repeating the same patterns. You ever notice it's easy to get stuck in the same place over and over and over again? But this is how you start to break through it. Because what coaching does is we start to break free from your past self. You break free from those old limiting patterns and where those things that you were doubtful about and you lacked confidence, and really start to focus on the future you, where we start to accelerate. So that's really the most powerful part about coaching, is you become present, you break free from the past. Now, how coaching actually works, we're going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about how coaching works. I'm going to talk about the DISC personality strengths assessment. I'm going to talk about foundational coaching tools. And I'm going to talk about time and goal management, because that's a big one. Like, let me ask you, could you use some help with time management? Or let me ask you this question. Would you like 6 hours a week of free time? Would you like that? Because that's what this system does. It literally creates free time. So if we think about coaching works, coaching is like going from point A to point B. So you show up, you say, Mr. Coach, here's where I am, here's where I want to go. And what will happen in that process is the coach will help you validate that that's actually the right target. And what happens most of the time is that when we are setting goals, we're usually setting goals. Most people set goals thinking that's what they can hit. But what we need to do is we need to set goals at what we actually want, even though you may not know how to do that. So coaching is going to raise your bar, raise your standard a little bit, and get you really aimed at bigger targets, which is going to be exciting because the bigger targets brings more excitement into it when you start playing at the level you're supposed to play at. The other thing is that coaching is custom tailored to you. Like there is a difference. There is a radical difference because everybody and their brother is a coach these days, right? But there is a radical difference between highly trained coaches and somebody who became an influencer and said they're a coach now. There's a radical difference there. I personally have probably been through 600 hours of coach training over the past 13 years. My entire coaching team has also had 506 hours of training. And the difference here is a lot of those other coaches out there, they're going to tell you what to do, right? We don't tell you what to do. That's not the style of coaching. This style of coaching is to help you uncover what to do, to get the answer to come within you. Because the last thing we want is try to push our beliefs, our perspectives onto you. This is all about you. And these coaches, myself and my team, are highly trained in turning off our own points of view so that we can really focus from your model of the world. And that's the way this coaching works. So everything is custom tailored, whether to your personality style, to your strengths, to your weaknesses, to your life situation, to your goals, and it meets you wherever you are. You could be at a level of success. You could be failure. You could have had a success recently and plateaued. It doesn't matter because this program adapts to where you are, and it's always going to adapt. So what coaching ends up being is like you have computer's frozen. Your coach ends up like becoming a friend, a confidant, a cheerleader who occasionally will give you a kick in the butt. But think about this for a second. The coach that you hire, their sole purpose in life, their entire sole purpose in life, their entire career has been focused on helping people get there once. So when that person comes into your life, when that coach comes into your life, their whole purpose is to help you become successful. Now, have you had anyone else in your life giving you that amount of time, focus, and energy to become successful? My guess is no. My guess is you've been doing it all yourself. Coaching like transforms the game because everything you say to that coach is completely confidential. We're under NDAs. It's built into our contract that we sign. The contract you sign, we're built into NDAs on our side. And it's just, it's a game changer when you get a relationship like this in your life. It literally, sometimes I've been told by clients that like the first time they've ever felt understood is by talking to me, because coaching is all about you. Now you can have friends and mentors who can give you things, but it's not the same thing. Having a coach is a radically different thing. So we talked about how coaching works. I got an extra slide in here. We're going to talk about the DISC personality strengths assessment. And have any of you ever heard of DISC before? DISC is one of the tools that we use in coaching. And what ends up happening, you'll complete a DISC assessment when you sign up for coaching. And basically what this does is it shows you what your strengths are. It shows you what your soft spots are. So it's going to validate what you know and validate what you don't know about yourself. And the thing is, it's literally like DISC is how your brain works. So when you start to understand the formula for how your brain naturally works, you'll be able to shift your time, your day into a more focused, more aligned effectiveness. So you spend less time fighting against yourself. It's literally the formula for that. And every one of us is one of these four. We're either high dominance, we're high influence, which is high connection, we are high stability, high compliance, or a combination of them. And the other thing is, if you run a business and you hire people, this is one of the #1 tools you use to make sure you're putting the right people in those roles. Like, I will not interview somebody without seeing a DISC profile before talking to him. That's how I do every single thing. So the coach actually shifts their coaching style based on your DISC profile, and that happens automatically, right? So that's DISC. The other part, we do an intake questionnaire, and the intake questionnaire takes about 15 to 45 minutes to complete, depending how long your answers are. And we take that DISC personality strengths assessment, we take that intake questionnaire, and we get a kind of understanding of your personality, a little understanding of your life from what you shared, where you've been, the challenges you have, where you're going, and we use that to match you with the right coach on our team. I've got 8 coaches on my team. probably, and this is by far like the most highly trained coaching team on the planet. Every coach on my team has been coaching for a decade. Like, it's the highest tenure that's out there. So we match you with a coach that matches your personality. Ideally, we get someone who has some direct experience that's relative to yours, if possible. But that's actually the process for onboarding. Now, one of the pieces that's really powerful about coaching, I talked about that coaching mindset. So these are some of the foundational coaching tools that you're going to be taught. So again, when I get a new client, I'm going to be teaching them these things over the first few months, because the more they understand this new coaching mindset, it changes how you operate. It changes how you think, which is included with OPA, which I'll talk about in a moment. We talk about decision-making models, which is important. We talk about a time and life management system, because I guarantee every single one of you wants more free time. And I know every one of you listening could also be better at time management. We're also going to upgrade. Part of this is upgrading that internal voice. You know that voice that's always running in your head? Is your voice judging you constantly, or is your voice empowering you? That voice is based on your mindset, based on your past. So this coaching upgrades that mindset. And the big part is you stop becoming limited based on your past life experiences. Because when I meet people who I went to high school with and I haven't seen in 20 years, they don't even recognize me anymore. Because what ends up happening is, through all the coaching I've done over the past 15 years, I've literally removed all of my past, all of my fears, all of my worries, all of my limiting beliefs that were preventing me from becoming who I'm supposed to be. And it's a radically powerful tool. And the longer you stay in coaching, the more you actually get that coaching mindset. You start becoming president. The confidence goes through the roof. And it's just, it's really hard for us to describe from a marketing perspective how powerful this is, because it literally transforms people's lives. At the same time, your income will absolutely 100% grow from coaching. It's like the number one thing that we do. Now, here's a simple teaser on the thinking process, right? So that coaching mindset thinks differently, right? And one of the things, I'm guessing you, me, everyone else, we all started as to-do list machines. So we wake up every day and we ask ourselves, what do we want to do? What do I have to do? So every day it's like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And we end up being focused strictly on action items, okay? And unfortunately, focusing on action items is not the most powerful effective way to operate, because sometimes we end up doing things that don't even get us closer to our outcome. So here is what I call OPA, and that's the industry standard version of this. So if you take nothing from me today other than this right here, this slide will change your life. Number one is outcome. What is my outcome? Like what is the target that I'm after? 2, what is my purpose? Why is that important? What are the positive reasons and the negative reasons? Number 3, action. Okay, what do I do? Outcome, purpose, action. It's a thinking process. You start your week thinking outcome, purpose, action. You will start to shift into a higher version of you, and you'll start taking higher actions. This is one of the things we teach in coaching. We have evolved that into the Jason Drees coaching version, which is OAA, because we don't require purpose anymore. Purpose is part of it, but a lot of the old coaching models would use purpose as negative leverage to force action. Meaning, if you don't do this, the negative thing is going to happen, and it's going to create this negative leverage to drive you forward. That's the old way. We have evolved this model, so we have OAA. So what you want to write down is OAA. You want to think of outcome. What is my outcome? Number 2, create alignment, shift my frame, get into alignment with that outcome. 3 is action. So it's outcome, alignment, action. And alignment is one of the core things that you will learn how to do when you're in coaching, is getting into alignment. But right here, it's a thinking process. So it's much more than just jumping on the phone saying, what are your goals? The coach is talking to you, and as they start to see your current way of thinking, your current experiences, your mindset, they're going to see where these new tools could be implemented to help accelerate you, and they will bring those relative concepts in to teach you at that time. So We also have, and I mentioned this when I was in Omaha, one other thing, and I like to bring, these are some of the most powerful things we get out of coaching, is the decision-making models. And there's a model which decide, plan, commit. And on the essence of time, I don't have time to go into full detail on this today, but it's decide, plan, commit. Decide on the target. Can I create a plan? And if I can create a plan, commit. And that's okay. But what we want to use is decide, pick a target, commit, this is going to happen. 3, figure it out how, because that's the frame of alignment that we'll figure out what to do. So decision-making models is part of that coaching mindset that we create. Now, here's something that impacts all of us. Now, how many of you, type in the chat for me, how many of you think you are bad at time management? Like, how many of you think you're bad in time management? Give me some input. Type in the chat. Type me or yes if you think you're bad at time management. The thing about time management is that as you get older, there's always going to be more to do. There's going to be more thoughts, more ideas. You know, when I was younger, I thought when I would get older, I would get more done and ever. I'd be totally under control. But the problem is, the more wisdom, more life experience, the more ideas, the more options you have. So the thing is, your life, actually, let me wait a second. Most people who say they're bad at time management, they're actually not managing their time. And I'm going to prove this to you right now. How many of you are spending 30 minutes to an hour? Like, are you basically taking time every week to plan your time? And I'm guessing I'm getting a bunch of no's. Now, we may do that, and you may plan a little bit, but on average, the average person is planning day to day. What do I have to do today? Or maybe they're thinking on a weekly level, but most people are managing their time on a day-to-day level. The thing you want to understand is that your life will scale to your ability to manage it. So if you get to the point where you can't manage anymore, you're not going to be able to grow beyond it, because like if I'm doing all day dumpster fires, or my thing is just out of control all day, how are you supposed to get more done? In that situation where you're overloaded and doing a million things and you're working 12 hours a day, that is one of the most powerful places to step into coaching, because you could probably be thinking, how am I going to start doing an hour of coaching a week, show my coaching calls, prepare for my coaching calls, if I can't even, if I'm working 12-hour days? The thing is, when you get into coaching, coaching is going to start taking stuff off your plate. It's going to increase your focus. It's going to start increasing your time management. You're going to start to realize that you're doing a lot of things that you don't need to be doing, because coaching also brings more leverage into your life. So that's one of the things, is time management is huge. And basically that system that we teach has a weekly planning process. Every week we do weekly planning, and we start looking at which of our action items, which of our outcomes this week are musts and which of our outcomes are optional. That's really kind of things we need to be asking ourselves. We'll also include monthly and yearly planning, task and outcome management. Then when you start to implement weekly planning, you're going to find like 6 hours a week of free time, 6 hours. But you have to, we've never been taught time management. Just like we were never taught how to do our taxes or be married, right? Like this education, school never taught us really important things. So coaching will bring in time and life management skills that will elevate your game. Really powerful way. Okay. Now, the coaching team on my team, and if you were at the Omaha talk, you heard me talk about this. This team is amazing. I love this team. You know, most of these people I met as a coach over 12 years ago is when I met them. And they've all been coaching for a decade. And these are highly skilled coaches. They are all former Tony Robbins coaches. And they're just, the skill level is just insanely through the roof. And some clients will be coming in going, oh, which coach is right for me? Or what if I get the wrong coach? And now the thing is, if you get a coach that's not a match, you can say this isn't a match and we'll switch you to a different coach. But the thing is, what I've found from being a professional coach for over a decade is that you don't always get the coach that you want. You always get the coach that you need. And to give you an example, like our client transfer rate, like the percentage of our clients that actually transfer from one coach to another, is less than 1%. Because what actually happens is like you're aligned with the level that you're at, and this is the frequency that version it's basically a match to who you are today. So the coaches are awesome. You'll get the right coach, and there are times where you coach for 2 to 3 years and you get everything that coach has to offer, and then you move to a different coach. This coach is so amazing. This is the team that when I need coaching, I call them. That's how awesome this coaching team is. So our typical JDC client is successful W-2 worker, high performer, an entrepreneur or investor, or they want to be. They're making $250K a year, and they're ready to do the work to the next level. They're ready to invest in work, ready to invest in themselves, and they want to work with the best. That's our ideal client. Now, there's a million coaches out there who can help you get started, but the amount of coaches out there who can take someone that's performing at an already high level and accelerate them to the next level is far and few between. There's not a lot of coaches that can do that. And that's one thing that myself and my team does, is we can take somebody like Brandon Turner, who is already successful, and accelerate them to levels up there, because that's what our magic is. So if that's you, you should be working with us. We will absolutely help you accelerate. Getting started is actually very easy. Very easy. Intake questionnaire and disc strengths assessment takes you less than an hour. We do a 60-minute kickoff call. So where the calls are typically 30 or 45 minutes long, depending on the contract that you choose, there is a 60-minute kickoff call. So the first month has an additional 30 minutes of coaching in it to help you get ramped up. You get to know your coach, review your intake questionnaire, you review your goals, talk about scheduling sessions, etc. You also have the ability to text your coach between calls if you need to talk to them. And everything is built into my custom coaching portal. You go into the portal, your session prep form's in there. You also get access to my Mindset Academy group coaching program, which is a content library if you want to dive into some additional content. And so it's super simple to get started. And the thing to think about coaching is, like, we're trying to figure out on our own, right? We're trying to figure it out. And those entrepreneurs here, those of you that are entrepreneurs know what it's like, right? You start figuring out, I'm going to do this, and then you go to the left, you take a right turn, you go ahead, and you basically are constantly trying to figure out how to get to point B. And as an entrepreneur, we're going down, up, right, left. But when you're in coaching and frame-based coaching, specifically alignment-based coaching that Jason Drees Coaching does, is how you stay in alignment the other time. It's how you stay in alignment. Because you cannot show up to a call and be out of alignment and the coach not catch it. Absolutely, they'll catch that. So I've actually been called a mental chiropractor. We get out of alignment, they show up, give them a mental adjustment, back into alignment, run off to the next call. And that's why most of our clients stay, I think our average is 9 to 12 months for our average client. Our clients that have been coaching with us for years are the ones who've doubled and tripled their incomes. Like, I've got clients that have been coaching with me for 3 to 4 years. Those clients have doubled and tripled their income in that time. So then the question I have for you, right, is really coaching worth it, right? Is coaching worth it? Because there is a cost invested in it. So, but let me ask you this. Let's say, for example, that target, that goal that you're aiming at this year, what if you hit that goal and grew 50% beyond that? What would you say if you're working 60 to 70 hour weeks and you turn that into 40 to 50 hour weeks? What if your ability to communicate with your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, girlfriend, or even your children improved because you became more present, because you were less rushed, because your business was generating more money? How do you put a price on that, right? Because all of those things will come up, because this type of coaching focuses on where you're out of alignment. And the subject that we're focusing on is irrelevant. The subject could be making money, growing your business. It could be marketing. It could be losing 10 pounds. It could be having a better relationship, saving your marriage. It doesn't matter, because there's alignment with the target. So when you look at coaching, which can range from, $700 a month to up to, spending $5,000 a month or so to work directly with me, even spending even if you spent $30,000 on coaching, What type of value can you put on getting your life to a higher level, getting more free time, growing your income consistently? Like the value of it will just exponentially succeed, will pass what you'll do, because most people don't realize that. But this type of coaching, if you're willing to do the work and you're willing to show up, this will unlock you and it will text you to the next level. Okay. Any questions? Anybody got a question? And if you were not at the Omaha event, you can actually get some of my free tools here by texting this number. I'm assuming most of you already have that. And the coaching, we have 2 contracts. We have a 60-minute contract and a 90-minute contract. 60 minutes is 2 30-minute calls per month. 90 minutes is 3 30-minute calls per month, or 2 45-minute calls per month. Those are normally $797 and $997 per month, respectively. As a attendee for the RIA event in Omaha this week, that is a discount price we're still extending through the weekend to help honor that prices and help you get going. And so where you'll get the most people will use 90 minutes. If you're trying to look between 60 and 90 minutes, most people will use 90 minutes, although you will get value out of 60. My clients on 60 minutes are wishing they were on the 90-minute contract. That's usually what happens. And I've had some people ask me, like, well, is 90 minutes of coaching enough? Is that enough time? Like, what about weekly coaching? Like, what, an hour a week? And I've worked with some coaches that do, like, I've seen some programs that are an hour a week. But the reason why this style of coaching doesn't need that much time is because most people can't take that much coaching. Because what ends up happening is you get the coaching, you need to go start executing and making the changes. And when you start making the changes, you'll start optimizing, you'll start getting performance. And then you may not be ready for another call for 10 days because you're still implementing the things there. I also am not a big fan of weekly coaching because I think weekly coaching ends up making you a little too dependent on the coach, right? Whereas we want to get you playing at that higher level. The other option we have right now is to pay in full contract. Our 60-minute, and these rates are just the craziest rates we've ever been doing. Our 90-minute contract from 2020 till 2024 was $5,800 for 6 months of coaching. Right now, you can get access to the 90-minute coaching contract paid at full for $4,000. It's a freaking steal. And the coaches at this level, you're getting coaches who can also bill on their own $1,000 to $2,000 an hour. That's how great this coaching team is. Super powerful here. So let me jump back here. So today we were talking about so the coaching mindset. So again, like the most powerful thing that's going to come out of coaching is the coaching mindset, is like shifting into that coaching mindset and build that today. So does anyone here have any questions I can answer for you? If you're ready to sign up, we'd love to work with you. You can use that QR code. Put that back on here. You can use that QR code. You can also text that number to get the link there. If you would like to have an accelerator session with my team, you can just go to my website, jasondreescoaching.com, and you can, hey, Doug, can you throw the link to the accelerator session in there? I think it's freeintrosession.com. If you want to have a 30 to 45-minute accelerator session, you can click this link right here, and my team will walk you through a session, give you an experience of coaching, and kind of get you focused and aligned in the right direction. Who has a question you'd like answered?
Jason, it's Jeremy. I was
Hey, Jeremy.
curious, are those group coaching sessions or are those one-on-one for the
Those
597?
Those are all one-on-one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Anybody else have a question? I'm also going to throw my direct cell in the chat. So if you want to talk to me, you can shoot that number there. I'm also launching a weekly webinar series next Wednesday starting at 5 p.m. Central. So if you got the invite for this, you'll get the invite for that. There's going to be some more training we're going to do on a weekly basis. Any other questions I can answer for anybody today? Okay, awesome. Did anybody come in late and would like to see the replay of this?
Yeah, it's Jeremy again. I did come in about 15, 20 minutes late, I'll take a replay of the first part of that.
Okay, I'm happy to do that. Did you get my
Awesome.
texts about this, Jeremy?
Yeah, I did. I
Okay.
just was caught up before I got here. Sorry.
No problem. What I'll do is I'll drop the video and I'll blast it out as a text for you. Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Awesome, Catherine. Happy to do that as well. Anybody else? Are there any questions I can ask her for you? I know you got some questions. Like you got to be curious about coaching. Come on. What questions do you have? Somebody? Okay. No questions. All right then. Well, it was great meeting you, who I met in Omaha, and then you guys tried to keep me there with all the snow and the airports closing, but I did finally make it home. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this was of value. I hope you're starting to understand that this mindset coaching, alignment coaching, it just transforms your life. It's a radical shift, radical move. So, hope you're having an awesome day. Have an awesome weekend. I will look forward to seeing you again soon on something in the future, maybe my webinar next week. Have an awesome day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah. Take care, Jim.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Wow.
Thank you.
Nice. You know what I mean? Wow. Wow.
Yep.
Okay. How do we do this?
All right. I'm going to end it right here. All right, everybody. Have a good day. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
See you, man.